in season, all right? You know, we have our Monday where we have our film day, our walkthrough day, and then Tuesday, we do our circuit for 16 minutes, again. But this is where we start adding the progressions and variations, all right? So you think about, and I'll show you again in the videos, but we have like tracking drills, right? You're leveraging down, you're following the back hip, you're leveraging the kid out of bounce. How many defensive linemen are doing this from 10 to 12 yards? They're not. So you shorten the distance, shorten the gap. Secondary guys, the opposite. You make it bigger, or you change the angles. And I'll talk about this more when we get into it. But then on Tuesday, we do our inside run. So we do a walkthrough of all their run plays, and then we go 15 minutes of full. 15 minutes of full tackle time. We rotate our junior or our JV group with our varsity group, so everyone gets an opportunity to do inside run. Then you look at Wednesday. We do indie. Part of your indies is at least one tackle drill specific to your group. So I talked about that head-to-head, right? The only group that's ever going to do that is our inside backers. So we will work that into their Wednesday indie drill. We'll do 5 minutes of that. Like our D-line, they'll do what we do, we'll work into like a squeeze and pop to like any type of midline or option play where they squeeze down and then have to change direction to make a tackle chasing. You know, they'll put them into those scenarios. And then when we go team time, the last 10 minutes, or basically 2 series, we call Civil War, but basically it's full. We get our best offensive people, our best defensive people, and we go full for 2 series. We usually put some type of bet, it's usually some type of conditioning or push-ups, but that's our 10 minutes of tackling. And then later, I noted that later in the season, our practice times, we shorten them, right? So that way you're not there. We actually will shorten our indie time, we'll shorten our team time, we don't shorten our tackle time. It's just a consistent throughout the season. The time we want to spend is the time we get, because honestly we're getting the return on investment. And then pre-game. So, you know, we warm up in our groups, and then the last part, we go defensive section, and we set up 3 stations, and we tackle in pregame. We do angle tackling, we do compression tackling. We basically do it at 2 yards. No one's going to get hit at 2 yards, but it can also let you get used to hitting the ground, because that's part of it too. You want to come out not timid, get your kids hitting and getting on the ground. I know it sounds funny, but it makes a huge difference for us, because they come out fast. Alright, so before I get into the drills, are there any questions on the schedule? What I can also do, I know Coach Ash is going to send out some information. I can put on one piece of paper if you guys kind of want to just see what our framework is for it. Again, I know it seems like a lot of time, but it pays off big time, because like I said, every play should end in a tackle or a turnover. And yeah, there it is again. So something also you could implement, like I said, I'm crazy about tackling. So all of our drills end in a tackle turnover. So we have block destruction, we have where we're working on ripping off, we still end in a tackle. Not going to the ground, but just doing the steps and doing like a pickup. If it's a turnover, obviously that speaks for itself, but literally every defensive drill ends in a tackle. You just get used to it. That's how you want them to do. You get off a block, you want them to end in a tackle. All right, so let's... Alright, so this first stuff I'm going to take you through is the progression. The progression is what it is. There's no variations. There's no nothing. We want everyone, like I said, to have the same 101 voodoo tackling. So for this box drill, what we do is 4 lines, we have them pair up, so that way everyone's looking inside. We bring in people in the middle to be presenters, to kind of show, first off, how's your stance? How should it be before you make contact? We go through making contact and wrapping up. So that's the layout of how our progression looks. And then again, we literally just have them do it. We have them squat down in position, stand up. We have coaches on each line walking around correcting them, right? And this is honestly one of those where you can tell the kids who haven't been lifting in the off season, because you can see the kid in the red, he's struggling, right? He doesn't want to squat down very long. So you kind of just like, hey, why are we doing this? Why are we doing this, right? And then that's stage 1. Stage 2, we get into it where, like I said, we bring kids in the middle, we have a kid kneeling, and this is all about the contact, right? Hitting with the shoulders, grabbing, squeezing, bringing them to the ground. And what we do then, after they demonstrate and we talk through it, the kids do it together, they do it each side, left and right, and then they flip. Offense goes to defense and we do it. So each time there's basically 4 reps. then again, everyone does it together. Coaches are walking around, instructing, doing it. Again, it's kind of a good way to see everyone doing it. You got good eyes on everybody. We used to do it where we'd have like these giant 2 lines all the way down the field, and it was just impossible to see everybody. Or you think about trying to give examples or coaching it. Doing that box up where everyone's kind of around you looking at it, and make sure all eyes are on you and everyone's seeing the same thing, and you don't have those 2 kids out in the corner just screwing off, right? Because that was our problem. At that point, we became more of like babysitters than we did coaches. So squaring it up definitely made a huge difference. So this is the next possession, getting off the ground and standing up. Basically the same thing, same fundamentals of shoulders, hamstrings, drive. And then finally we do our leverage step. So this is working on getting from a sprint into your breaking down. We call it a leverage shuffle, that's more what it is. So we'll do this at different distances, different legs first. Left, near foot, near foot, near foot. So again, my goal with this is not to teach you how to be a leverage tackling team, but obviously all of these pertain to it. Now the other thing I would say, you go back to voodoo, right? Vision, under skull, hamstrings, right for 5 on the ground. Each of our 4 drills in our circuit apply to at least one of those, right? So that way, don't just do a tackling drill to do it. I don't believe in the nut up drills. You know what I mean? Everything needs to kind of have a purpose. So like you look at this tracking drill, it's vision, tracking the leg, it's under control, and then it also gets into the pad level, but we're more worried about getting there, getting it appropriately. So if you kind of watch, this is kind of the level 1 of it, where it's just literally a cone and you just chase the kid. So that's like the level 1 progression. What you will get into later is, again, we change the distances for the linemen. We will change the angle. So we will eventually work up to the point where the kid's kind of coming at you. And then we'll work on how the kid's going away from you, because unfortunately you got to chase kids sometimes, right? So here's an example of that tracking drill, right? And how it applies to the games. Okay? So if you watch this player right here, outside play, tracking, and yeah, he overruns it, but he got them. And that's the thing with these clips, these are all real clips. You know, I didn't go out and just pick perfect clips. And I'm sure you guys are like me where you don't have a ton of D1 athletes, so I don't want to stand up here and tell you you can do everything you want. We're doing it with our D3 on Alaska kids, right? So here's it just from the other angle. The safety's here on top. You can see some pretty good feet work coming down. Near foot, kid crosses your face, that happens, but that's fine. I mean, you go back and you watch your film again, like your tackling film, you maybe have a handful of clips that are like, that kid did it perfect, right? Most tackling in games is rodeo, right? You're getting the kid to the ground, but can you get there appropriately? Can you have the right pad level? Can you have good wraparound? Okay? You're never going to have to be perfect, but how close can you get?